Excuse me. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Gates Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Tim Shirer. I have over 40 years of um, 40 years of experience in the soap opera industry, reviewing and predicting storylines, how they will go on the shows. I have currently, at one time or another, watched all of the soaps that are on TV. But Beyond the Gates is the one now that I do enjoy watching, and it is, it's a really good show. I watched it from the first day it came on. I haven't really missed a minute of it. And it's been on now a year and a half, nearly a year and a half. August 24th will be a year and a half that the show has been on. It's in its second season. It's been renewed for seasons 3 and 4, which is great news. That doesn't always happen with soap operas, that they get a renewal that quick for a third and a fourth year. So things are going well for the show. It's good writing, good production team. I mean, they've got great producers. These people have worked in soap operas for years and been on part of some of the most exciting and well-rated soap operas in TV history. Julianne Carruthers. I mean, she was a part of All My Children, General Hospital, Santa Barbara. These were very successful, well-written, well-produced, popular shows. So the fact they have her right now as one of the executive producers is unbelievable. So that's why when the show came on, I decided, well, I'm going to do a weekly recap show. We were off for a while. We were off for about 3 months, from April to July. I helped coach a travel ball team. I'm now done with that. But we're going to continue to do the show weekly and recap what happened during the week. And let's get started, because a lot happened this week. Anita Dupree, played by Tamara Tooney, is while preparing for her upcoming recording session this week. They're going to record some songs, the Articulettes, some new songs, and they're going to use Barbara's voice. The Articulettes, her singing group that made her famous back in the late 60s, she got frustrated because she was having some problems with her voice. And she bangs the piano, and right as she did that, Vernon walked in, played by the great Clifton Davis, and he assured her that everything's going to be okay. So, there's that. I love when I feel like every episode that Vernon and Anita are in is even more special, because the matriarch and the patriarch of a soap opera, they are the most important characters. They might not always have the most exciting storylines, but they are the most important characters on these shows. I mean, think about it, looking back at old soaps, Days of Our Lives, the Hortons, General Hospital, the Quartermains. And when the Quartermains came on, that's when General Hospital took off, around that time. Young and the Restless, the current one, Victor Newman and Nikki Newman, they're the matriarch and the patriarch. But for years, it was Kay Chancellor. The matriarchs and the patriarchs are the most important two characters on soap operas. And I love how they respect and focus on Anita and Vernon so much. I mean, Clifton Davis is almost 80 years old. He does not look 80. Let's be honest. But moving on with the storylines, Leslie, of course, she had a pretty mean-spirited encounter with Vernon. Vernon, he didn't want to see her. He didn't want to talk to her. He had enough of her. They've all had enough of her. The Duprees have all had enough of her. And they went at it. And then when, eventually Isaiah came because he was having a meeting with Vernon, and he was able to broker a peace between the two and get Leslie to leave. And the great thing about that was Vernon said to him, and I like the character of Isaiah too. I really like him. He's a really good character. Vernon said to him, "You remind me of a younger me." And that made Isaiah very happy. Mona, early in the week, she went to the casino. She's trying to save Randy. She sees the good in Randy. So she went to the casino and she was ready to play cards against Joey to save Randy. And I think get him out of that lifestyle. Joey really respected her for that. So Eva, of course, I always get it wrong. Eva, of course, is struggling with her scar from the kidney transplant surgery. She consulted Carlton because she wanted an honest opinion. She didn't consult Ted. She told him that in today's episode, that she didn't consult him about it because she knew that he would look at her as his daughter, not a patient. So, and Carlton told her she was not happy with him because he told her that they're going to have to wait to do the surgery, for one, and that it doesn't guarantee the surgery that he would do, or any plastic surgeon would do, does not guarantee that the scar would be gone completely. And that really made Eva upset and saddened her, but Isaiah, she should realize that Isaiah doesn't care about the scar. He doesn't care. Leslie told her that. Isaiah doesn't care about the scar. Leslie told Eva how Isaiah never left the hospital, how he stayed by her bedside the whole time, until she woke up. So she's just going through it right now mentally with the scar from the transplant. And I guess from what they were saying is this is a common thing. So Jessica told Samantha that she really enjoyed her trip to UCLA to see, meet her roommate and everything. Samantha asked if she cheated on Terrell there, and she told her no, but there was temptation, she basically said. And Terrell then showed up at Orphe Jean's, and Jessica did break up with him after Samantha left. But Jessica did text Samantha to tell her to watch out for him, take care of him. So she cares about him, Jessica. She just knows that she's going to school in California. And Terrell's going to be in the DMV. So it's probably better off. But Terrell, he's not going to accept it because this is the first time Terrell's been in love. And he's such a nice kid. I really like the character of Terrell, played by Jaden Lucas Miller. He's a really good character. He's a good kid. Samantha told Smitty and Martin that, this is probably due to the effects of June leaving them. When they were kids, Terrell still fears that everybody will leave him. And now Jessica's showing that. She left him too now. So, but, um, they didn't want to really, they didn't talk to him about it after they argued with him earlier when he told them he had a plan of going out there once a month. Um, so Terrell went to the hospital. He wanted to talk to Ted and Nicole, but they were both off. They weren't there. And Carlton was there. So he talked to Carlton about it. Carlton, he was very understanding. Robert Christopher Riley, who plays Carlton, he was very understanding, and he talked to Terrell about it, and they discussed it, and talked to him about relationships. And so that made it seemed like Carlton felt better after that. He felt like he was talked to like an adult. And for Terrell, that's big. But then Nicole, Carlton did go over to Nicole's, and they talked. And Nicole, played by Daphne Duplex, she finally told him that she didn't want the back and forth relationship between her and him and her and Kyle anymore, and that she still wants to be friends with him. They've been friends for years, but she really wanted to have a relationship with Kyle, played by Greg Wan. So she then called Kyle over, and of course Kyle felt like she was breaking up with him. So she told him stop, because he assumed and he was ready to leave. He was all upset. But she finally convinced him that she wanted to be with him. And of course, they make love after that. So that was predictable soap opera. Got to have predictable sometime, But Joey was very concerned because Heather came back to town unannounced. And, John Lindstrom's, he's doing a really great job in that role. I didn't like him in a lot of the roles he's been on soap operas, way back to, I believe it was his first soap opera role on Rituals back in 1984. I hated him on Santa Barbara because his character was such a creep, but he's a good actor. But Joey wants to know what's going on with Heather, why she's back. And, he has Randy following him, but of course Randy and the other henchman of his lost her. So he was very upset at the end, even though Vanessa came and wanted to talk to him about Heather, because Heather ran into brain froze for a second. Heather ran into Vanessa and Danny, at Uptown, and she took a selfie with them. I think we're going to get to that now. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that Heather is the mystery woman in Andre's past. And I think she wants a place. Because it's very interesting how quickly she seemed to become friends with Danny. Let's face it, Heather is one of those people that always is going to have a motive for every conversation and everything she does. So I think that Andre, played by Sean Freeman, I think the mystery woman is Heather, played by Ashley Jones. I think that's who his mystery woman is. And I think that, it's going to be interesting what happens, because, she if she wants something, she's going to come take it. So I have a feeling that this is going to get ugly. So we'll find out. Um, I think it's going to come out soon too that Danny slept with Bill in the elevator after the tornado. I just really believe it's going to. Speaking of Haley, Haley and Bill, played by Timothy Kyle Durrett, Haley's plan of luring Bill to St. Bart's looked like it was going to be a success. After Bill agreed to go, he said he had to go pick up some papers at the office. You know, Haley was talking to Randy on the phone and told him that the next time she talked to him on the phone, she will be a rich widow because Bill will be dead. Well, that might not work. And it's definitely not going to work because she might have already done it. Considering when Bill was leaving the office after picking up the papers, he was leaving and he collapsed in the office, and that's how the episode ended for today. So some of the previews indicate that Bill does not die, that he's in the hospital, but it sounds like he's in pretty bad shape. Next week looks like it's going to be a very interesting week on the show. So I can't wait for that. It will be fun, and we will get back here next week to review what happened on the show next week. And you know, it's really annoying. Sometimes it's annoying, and you see it on soap operas a lot when somebody just walks in, and I hate when they do that on soap operas. But we will be back next week, and until then, maybe I'll see you around somewhere around Fairmount Crest. Have a good week.